No words. Just get into it.
What's up, guys?
Eli, cook up.
Hey, 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 hey. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what it is. Hey. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tay. I got my beautiful wife with me. My queen, my BM, my rib. And the list goes on and on, but we're going to stop it right there. But anyway, this is the Nfluence podcast. We focus on growing our relationship with God, our relationship with self, and our relationship with people, you dig? And before I forget, a quick reminder, you don't need 1 million followers to be an influence. I've been slacking on saying that.
You have.
So if y'all forgot, I put it on me. But yeah, you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We appreciate the love.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give y'all the. Definitely leave a review if you're listening on those audio platforms, and if you're listening or watching on YouTube, definitely like, subscribe, turn your bell notification on, because this is for you and yours as always, and share, tell your people and all of that. You feel me?
Yes.
And we definitely encourage y'all to leave reviews, leave comments, so that we can engage with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying, we can see where y'all are coming from, your points of views and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
And you know, we appreciate it as always. So
we do.
today we gonna get in our vulnerable bag, I suppose. And we're gonna talk about the struggles of remaining sexually pure while dating. And really hoping that this will be a blessing to y'all, because as of right now, I have no idea what's about to happen.
Improv.
But
Speaking from the heart.
yeah, so I guess we could just talk about our story, I suppose.
Okay.
You want me to go and tell
Yes.
it? My wife is over it.
I'm tired.
She just want her hash browns.
I'm tired. I don't know how I got tired all of a sudden. Forgive me, y'all. My energy is on a 30%.
Should I blame my son?
Yes.
But anyway, so I guess I'll do it. Actually, that during our relationship, because what were we, like, about a year and 9 months, was it? Or a year and like 8 months or something like that.
Something like that.
I'm gonna just keep it a stack, y'all. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. It's one of I remember, like, when we were dating, it was always the thing that always made me feel like trash. Like, y'all, how you gonna be a man of God? Come on, big dog. You're not cutting it. You ain't him. And it was also the thing that was I want to say, like, a consistent, like, a back and forth argument we will always have.
Yeah.
Because of, I don't know, what is our perspectives on sin were different. And we got to remember too, like, you at the time were, like, new to the faith, I suppose.
Well,
I feel like you knew of Christ, but you weren't walking with Christ at the beginning.
Yeah, like taking it serious.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think early on, it was definitely a constant, like, back and forth. Like, we didn't see eye to eye on the things. We weren't moving as a unit in order to do it in a way in which honored God. And so there was constantly always back and forth.
A conversation about it.
Yeah. And I remember it was at some point, because especially early on when we was dating, I used to feel like you wasn't, like remember I told you, like, you probably like the last one, right?
Yes.
And so I didn't believe,
Comparison.
Yeah. So I didn't believe that the relationship would materialize into what it was or what it is today. I didn't think it was going to get here. Until eventually, you know, that great day, October 15th, you know what I'm saying, 21. But I finally bought in, and then I feel like our relationship took off from there. But I definitely think that there are practical steps that I wish we did early on that we put into place later on. But I feel like it was harder later on because, you know, by that time we did a lot of things that we wasn't supposed to be doing. And the struggle is real, and I get it for a lot of the people that's out there right now. But I want to say that the shift that happened for me was when I decided to stop looking at the calendar, because, you know, I always kept track. So I decided to, even though I still kept track, but I decided to stop making the goal abstinence, being celibate, no more sex, no more nothing, no corn, none of that. I stopped trying to make that the goal and said, no, let me focus on Christ and have faith that the fruit, the byproduct of this faith will be that. And so that was when I started seeing your relationship with Christ begin to start taking off. Because that's when you started getting more practical. You started reading more.
Yeah, I started reading more.
You started reading more. We talked a lot more about Christ. Even though it was never something we didn't do. It wasn't like, because on our first, on a second date, we was talking about Christ. We was talking about Christ. So it wasn't something new, but I just knew that there was a difference in you and me. Whereas, like, we're finally starting to get this thing kind of moving in the right direction, and I stopped focusing on works and started focusing on Christ. What do you think?
I agree.
Because, like I said, we had a lot of arguments, and I know on my part it was a lot of I did blame you early on a lot. At least in my heart. Like, I was like, yo, I was on some Adam time. Yo, Lord, the woman you sent, yo, she's not cutting it. But I had to be honest, and even for y'all out there who may be struggling, like, if you trying to blame the other person, sex is not something you fall into. And this pod, I would suppose, is not advocating for, you know, sex before marriage, but I just want to speak to the reality of the struggle of what this looks like, dating and still trying to honor God, but yet you have a partner that you are deeply interested in and want to pursue and eventually get to the altar where you will give your I do's and stuff like that. So yeah, I was on some Adam time and did a lot of finger pointing, and like I said, this isn't something you slip into. If we being honest, it's a decision that we make. And it may not even be a decision that you make in the moment. Just the decision that you made in the morning for the outfit you picked, you already decided what you was on. You already set your flesh up for failure. Or you already set your partner's flesh up for failure. Just from the outfit you picked. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yo, you over here playing, yo. You over here playing.
What do you mean I'm playing? What am I playing about?
What was the struggle for you?
Not you trying to get me to talk.
Yeah, because I'm over here. We 10 minutes in.
Listening to you, and I'm listening to what you have to say about it, because I have a hard time remembering like everything. So I was just.
What do you remember?
What do you mean? What do I remember?
She playing, y'all. She just trying to get her hash browns. I guess it's on me.
No. Okay, what was the question you asked me?
What do you remember about our struggles?
I just remember we weren't on the same page, and I had a hard time with, like, I don't know, like, I guess, I don't know, like, ruling over my flesh. I had a hard time with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I tempted you a lot, and that's not right.
And to my...
No, go.
John passed it to me. And about the point I was talking about with the outfit. I mean, I don't mean like if you put on some basic joint, like it does get to a point where you're not even trying to do nothing. You're not trying to throw that fit on. You're not even trying to get them like to that point. But it gets to a point where you with somebody so much, just the little things they do, how they say things, how they touch you, how they look at you, could set your flesh ablaze. And so I think that we weren't, like you said, we weren't on the same page on it, and that was to our detriment, I believe. And so, like early on in a relationship, I think people should definitely. Cause I remember my man's, he was telling me about the girl he was dating, and he was telling me about a lot of the stuff that he put into practice. Like while they was dating, and I was hearing how they were doing things and stuff like that. I was like, yo, you doing it right, because if you like small things, like we go on dates only in the daytime. Cause you know at nighttime is when your flesh is ablaze. Your flesh don't care about what's going on. Your flesh is trying to go crazy. So even little things like that, I think another thing, cause later on I started leaving at dinner time, after dinner.
And I hated it.
Yeah. But like I said, to my fault, there were things that I should have, as a man or as a man of God, I should have had things in place before. I shouldn't have let you talk me off I shouldn't have moved off of what I knew was the right thing to do. I should have knew, because I knew my flesh. It ain't had nothing to do with you. I know me. So I should have knew, nah, just stay daytime. Stay doing this, stay doing that. But after a while, it's just like, yo, what it said, that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
I just feel like I tempted you a lot. I don't feel like I was very helpful in the time that we were dating. I feel like I knew what I was doing. And I wasn't like 100% on board all the time. Sometimes I was. Sometimes I was. But
I just remember you feel very guilty right now?
No, just thinking back
on it.
Like how I was moving and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have handled it differently, and I could have been more respectful of like what you were trying to do, and not like get upset at stuff, and like respect it, and like talk to God about like how to come at peace with it, and like to how to rule over my flesh. But
I think
I had a hard time.
I think that was in part to your relationship with God. I don't think this is something, especially as a believer, if you're in a relationship with somebody else who is a believer, I think it goes kind of hand in hand. Because you wouldn't view it as honoring my request. You will be viewing it as honoring what the Lord has asked you to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, you didn't have those viewpoints because of what you had came out of. So a lot of the stuff that I was doing and the things that I said, you never heard another dude say these things or try to have these things put into practice.
Yeah.
So I think,
and I'm not very like disciplined. Like that's something I struggle with, is like discipline and like what's the word? Like denying your flesh and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Like I just have a hard time with discipline.
Yeah. No, and it's something that it's not even something that you would want to do.
Yeah.
You know you don't want to do it. You know?
But still trying, like even like eating healthy or like exercising, like you don't want to do those things, but you know you need to.
Yeah.
So it's like I have a hard time with like stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, just switching the perspective to getting us closer to Christ, even then, it wasn't perfect. You know, it wasn't something where it was like, oh, the Lord, you know, filled us up with his spirit and we didn't fall into sin anymore. Like it don't work like that all the time. And I remember the times that I did have the thoughts that we wouldn't make it. But obviously here we are today, married and stuff, almost a year. And so it's not always gonna be a smooth and easy journey, because like I said, I talked to my cousin about it, and I guess me remembering how he told me about it encouraged me to do this today, because there are people out here who you may be questioning your relationship with your partner just off of this one aspect alone. But sin is sin across the board. So, I mean, whether you're sexually pure or not, you may be good in the sexual aspect, but you may be prideful, which is a sin. You may have a false idol, a false god that you worship, that you don't even know you worship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole lot of different things that just because and the sexual purity culture has affected not even just them, but just how the world has become so sexualized. You would actually think that because you don't have sex or watch porn or anything, you're fine, you're sinless. Have you ever felt like, yo, if I didn't do this, that was me. I used to like think that, yo, I'm doing very good. I have not. Maybe that's because sex or corn was my loudest issue. I felt that, yo, if I don't do these things, out here, I'm repping for Christ, I'm doing good. But then pride started coming up. That was when I did a lot of the, yeah, but God, the woman you sent, her, she's not working with me. She's not cooperating. She's not being submissive. But there were decisions that I made leading up to the moments that I knew, big dog, you should have left at 7:30. You already knew what it was. Don't try to point at her like it was her. You know? Like, I had a lot of those conversations on the drive home where I had to realize that our relationship cannot be judged based upon that one thing. And I'm hoping that, you know, our marriage and, you know, what God chooses to do with us moving forward will also show people that, like, relationships aren't always like black and white to the point that you can just take a blueprint and follow somebody else's thing and then say, well, we have that, so they have that. It works for them, so it'll work for us.
Right.
And so for a year and 8 months, we tried. It was a constant fight. And that's one thing I did appreciate, and I hope that, you know, those who are listening, they will judge their relationship off of that as well. Like, is your partner seeking the Lord? Are you seeking the Lord? You could work with that, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be sinless. So that's why I said, like, the whole mind shift of focusing on Christ and not focusing on being sinless, because that's climbing up, going uphill, going against the grain, because you're not going to be sinless. So that's like a pointless fight.
I agree.
So I don't know, but I just remember after we got through this entire period, like I said, like, when we got to engagement, that was when, like, everything, like, kind of clicked for us. I'll never forget when my mans prayed for me at the job. That was when, like, everything was, like, different. And I just remembered that we were actually a team at that point.
Yeah. Did
you feel like something was different for you at the time?
Not you.
Yeah, because I've been talking for 20 minutes. I could have did this pod dolo. If that's what it was going to be.
Why can't I just listen to what you have to say?
Anyway, y'all.
Okay.
Let me hurry up
What
and
did
wrap
you?
this up.
Okay, no. You asked me. What did you ask me?
It's all right. I got it. ISO.
No.
Lock
Stop.
in. Anyway.
What did you ask me?
So after my man's prayed.
Okay, you said what changed for me.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Yo. Anyway, my
I
man's
just know
prayed for me at the job.
We had a goal, and I was truly, like, wanting to do this for God, and so I felt like I had a different type of motive. Like, the goal was different, and I knew there was an end in sight.
Really?
Yeah, when we get married.
So you felt like you finally had something to fight for?
Maybe that's
a
what it
realistic
was.
like, oh snap, I'm about to get married, so I really
Yeah, I can like explore it then. So maybe like me, I don't know for sure if that's what it was, but that's what I'm speculating. But I don't have like a moment that it just clicked for me. I think we just had a conversation and we were so busy with like everything going on. I feel like that kept us like, and we had a
Okay.
good streak going, and it was like, nah, we can't let this go. Like we got to keep going.
Yeah, we did.
Um
Because while we were dating, I think the most we did, like, it was always like we would get close to like, oh man, yo, we about to do a month. We doing it right. Boop. It's like, yo, come on, bro. Like, we were so close.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I think it was just like, I don't know. Energy was just different.
yeah,
Like, I don't know.
I mean, all right, if that's for you, then I mean, that's for you.
What do you think clicked for me? What do you think?
What do I think clicked for you?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think we were a team,
Yeah.
and like you said, we knew what was in sight. We knew for sure, like, yo, we about to get married. Like, you already knew how I felt about you. Like, I wasn't playing no games.
And we had talked about it previously too, like when we were dating, like that we got to get right when we get engaged and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if maybe that's just what we felt during the time while we were dating. I don't know. All I know is like it was just a hard road to try to do it God's way. But but I knew what I was praying about and what we were praying about. I mean, God eventually blessed us while we were engaged to experience like something like, oh wow, we finally did it His way. And that's something I still hold on to and appreciate and remember, and I smile when I think about it because I knew like, yo, I did it God's way to the best of my ability. And like I said, when my man's prayed for me and all of that at the job, that's when it was just all like, it just started clicking.
Right. And our environment was different too.
Yeah.
Because we weren't, yeah.
What do you mean our environment was different?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Because I know we were engaged about 3 months, but I know that back end,
yeah, but I was coming over to your spot more too than before.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. It used to be like, I always gotta come to your crib. But and it was times like even when we were moving into the apartment and getting all the furniture and stuff, I just remember that the times where it was like we had to really, yo, we gotta get out of here. Like we can't even stay here too long.
Things were getting spicy.
It was getting spicy, but I felt like, yo, like we just knew, like, no, we doing this for God, like for real, and it was beautiful to be able to experience it.
It was very like empowering. Like we could do this.
Yeah,
it was very nice.
Word.
And I felt like God was happy with us.
Yeah,
and it made like the wedding night like even more special.
Yeah,
like I don't know, it just made everything like more intense and like more like something to look forward to. For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need is something to look forward to. Excuse me.
So I would say, just for people out there, like, for your future relationships, when you dating, just try to be if you set it in place early, I think it'll be more beneficial. And like I told my mans, like, yo, do it early. Don't make the mistakes I made because I didn't do it early. So if you do subtle things like we were talking about her having to come to my parents' crib, I tried to make, because you stayed by yourself, so I tried to make my parents' crib as the safe haven. Like, yo, nothing is popping off over here. So even when you're at your parents' crib, if you're still living with your parents, keep doors open. Don't be closing no doors. Don't be doing none of that crap. Stay amongst people. Let your dates be out in the daytime. Like I said, focus more on Christ than actually the goal. Even though it's good to have a goal, but And don't think like, oh, just because it didn't happen, clearly God's hand isn't on this. Because like I said, it takes two. And if you were to have that kind of mindset or thought, then you would have to conclude that God's hand is not on you either, because you partook in the sin. And so, what else? What else would you advise?
Just like have good, like honest conversation with each other too. Like
Try to be understanding.
Like talk about God together, pray together, go to church together.
Yeah.
And I think like what we didn't have a community too.
Yeah, we didn't. So it was really just us.
Yeah, I would advise like if you have like Christian friends or like getting into like a group or whatever, like having other people like that are in the same situation. And yeah.
Yeah, that's good. We did not. We were stuck over there in Greensboro.
We were. I mean, we tried a little bit when we went to the other church, but
yeah,
that was a bust.
Yeah, it was a bust.
So
Big
I mean, I would just try to meet people that like, have community.
Yeah, because I think it was Jerry Flowers that said it. That he said I think it was the one that you were playing. When we was driving to Durham,
like
that it's hard when you don't have community.
If you're bearing the cross by yourself, it seems
hard.
Heavier.
Yeah, it's heavier. But when you have community, it's easier.
It's like you can relate and like you can talk about your struggles together, and you can have those like honest, vulnerable conversations, and like and you can hear what they're doing that can help you out too, instead of just trying to do stuff on your own. You could like talk to them about like what's working, what's not working, things to look out for.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that would have definitely helped us too.
Yeah,
like being more social and stuff.
Yeah, and pray a lot.
Yeah,
pray a lot. And like I said, just because it didn't happen, don't mean it can't happen. It's not too late for God to still show up in a relationship. Yeah. Obviously, if this person is hell bent on trying to get the draws and all of that other stuff, nah. If this person isn't seeking Christ, no, don't do it. There's a difference in someone who there's a difference based upon the lifestyle of someone who is like you could tell someone, nah, you really not after the Lord. You really trying to do what your flesh commands of you, versus when you could actually see the fight, because the fight is you gonna win some, you gonna lose some.
Yeah.
And thankfully we lost a few rounds, but we won the war at the end of the day.
That's true.
We got married. We got to experience purity, and not just like we didn't have sex. No, there was no corn. There was no masturbation. There was nothing. Mm-hmm. And that was great for me, because I know for my personal life, there was never a time, unfortunately, where it wasn't any of that. Because if it wasn't a relationship, then it was corn. If it wasn't corn, it was the partner. So to have that 2 months where it was like, yo, dang, like I wish I never experienced some of these things. I wish I didn't get introduced to corn at an early age and get all of this perversion in my head and stuff, you know.
And it's interesting, like in those 2 months, like after I think after probably like a month, like your body like kind of submits in a way. Like it's not as like, even though we did have our moments like where we wanted to do stuff, but it's like it was easier to fight it like the longer you kept fighting it.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, it just felt like I'm going to win over my flesh. It wasn't like the flesh wasn't so loud. It felt like I could win this because I've been doing it for a month or whatever.
Yeah, we were fighting our flesh.
Yeah.
We was beating it into submission.
Yeah, and it was nice. It got easier after a while.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I don't crave it like I used to and stuff. But I think when we first started dating, I think like, and it was interesting to see like my evolution, I guess, too. Because I do feel like in the beginning I was more tempting to you, and like and
I was weak. I wasn't strong enough.
I mean, hey, you said it. I don't know
because
that's how you feel.
it's a fact.
I mean,
because
you can only take but so much. So
yeah, but still,
you're a man.
At the end of the day, who was God gonna come to?
I get that.
He was going to come to me.
I know, but it's not like I was much help.
So if we were Adam and Eve, this world would have been doomed. Why? Because Adam didn't either report to God, Eve is not doing what she's supposed to be doing after I told her what you said. Look, there she go over there. Then Adam would have been straight, but he ain't do that.
Yeah.
So the same thing with me. I could have just took it to God, but no, I actually submitted many times and was with it. So I mean, like I said, it's you always have a choice, but I felt like it was my problem because where I was spiritually was in a further process than you.
Yeah. And I think like in the beginning, like now that I'm thinking back on it, I think in the beginning I was more so like trying to not act on it for you. And then I think the further on we got, I like started like.
You identified with Christ more.
Yeah. It's like I understood why you wanted to do what you wanted to do. Like I felt like I wasn't trying to do it for you at a certain point.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it for God. So it was nice to see like the growth.
Yeah. And when I think about your evolution, I always laugh and smile about it too, because I remember where it was. I remember the times I was like, yo, I don't know. But to see and experience it with you every step of the way, it's been beautiful. And to see where you're gonna go,
I don't know.
You always say you don't know.
I'm struggling right now.
But that's why we have forever. I'm excited to see what you about to be.
I pray so. I pray we do. Pray we have a long time to figure it out.
Yeah. But we gonna get out of here. Somebody's calling my line.
It's one of his hoes.
I think no, it's not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think it's my dad. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here, man. Y'all stay up.
Cook up.
If you got to this point, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something from it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, turn your bell notification on. It's for you and yours as always. Leave a comment. Let me know your struggles. So hopefully, we could chop it up.
Yeah.
I could give you
my cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We could give you our stuff in more depth, I suppose,
Yeah.
Leave that 5-star review. Apple Podcast, Spotify, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the support.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess that's all we got. Y'all stay blessed. Peace and love. May the Lord
Bye,
be with
guys.
you.
Have a good week.
Dig.